Welcome back to the Rodcast, guys. Hope y'all doing well out there. I'm your host, Rod, as always. And in this video, we're going to be talking about another awesome ICE raid, in this case, in St. Louis, Missouri, where a restaurant has been shut down and the workers, 20 plus workers, have been arrested. And two houses that they were being harbored in have been raided by ICE. And the actual owners of the restaurant have been charged with federal charges, as well as their partner, for harboring illegal aliens. Okay, so the business has been basically shut down and the owners arrested.
We now know the criminal charges behind a series of raids that shut down a popular St. Peter's restaurant.
Fox 2's Chris Hayes broke that story yesterday, talking with former customers as well as neighbors of both suburban homes raided. And he joins us now with new developments, Chris. This is really an interesting story.
An extraordinary amount of curiosity about our reporting that you saw only here on Fox 2, now with answers in this federal grand jury indictment alleging two people were, quote, harboring aliens. Our visit Wednesday to Golden Apple Buffet on Mexico Road resulted in customer after customer astounded to find the place suddenly shut down. Federal agents had also stormed two suburban homes where neighbors reported about 20 people living inside, each home all detained. People who neighbors reported seeing in the past being bussed to the restaurant to work every day. Now we've learned the man we named Wednesday is the registered agent of the restaurant, and who we found tied to both homes has been indicted on one felony count of harboring illegal aliens. 56-year-old Yolian Ye, along with the indictment of another 56-year-old named Dae Jin Ye. Both face up to 10 years in prison and fines up to $250,000. Also, I need to point out that a neighbor who did not want to go on camera told me that this investigation began with concerned citizens, not about workers in a restaurant, but rather over concerns of suburban homes packed with occupants. So from their
So basically, the neighbors noticed that they were using what looked like ICE vans, the vans that ICE, ironically, is using to transport the arrested illegals. And they had these people had vans that went to this restaurant every day, carrying a bunch of basically Mexicans, Hispanic workers. And it was weird because they didn't fit in the neighborhood, and they didn't seem like they were a family living inside of a family home. This is a residential home. Okay, so the neighbors noticed what is going on. Doesn't seem normal, and they actually, the media actually went and talked to some of the neighbors. So this was actually done by the neighbors themselves. Okay, they were like, "What is happening?" And one lady's like, "It seems like there are a lot of illegals living in this house." They actually, one of these videos actually interviewed her, which was hilarious.
No one answered the door when I showed up. Two neighbors who opted to be anonymous tell First Alert 4 the amount of people entering and leaving the house concerned them.
We just saw a lot of different people going and coming at different times.
One woman says the raid was immigration related.
They came in and busted immigrants that are here illegal.
Several neighbors told me the people in the home were associated with the Golden Apple Buffet on Mexico Road in St. Charles.
Somebody actually telling the truth and using the word illegal. Awesome. But anyways, the neighbors reported this to the police, and then eventually somehow the FBI and ICE was contacted by somebody. I'm not sure exactly who, but then they started their investigation, and then the DOJ got involved, the Justice Department, and the U.S. Attorney has filed charges here, federal charges against these two people who are either husband and wife or family, because they have the same last name. I'm not sure exactly, but nevertheless, they were working together to harbor illegals and to have them work illegally in their restaurant and making all kinds of money and not hiring Americans, of course. Why bother hiring the native population when you can ship in illegals from Mexico to do your job?
A St. Charles buffet is shut down after federal agents raided the restaurant and a nearby home.
And today we learned two people were charged in connection to this. Justina Coronel joins us from the newsroom to share details in this case. Justina.
Well, Mike and Kelly, just 24 hours ago, a federal grand jury indicted two people from St. Charles County. Both are charged for bringing in and harboring immigrants who came here illegally. Now, this is after federal agents raided Golden Apple Buffet in St. Charles and a home about 10 minutes away in St. Peter's.
You got a drone out with a drone?
In this video, you can see FBI agents armed with guns go inside the St. Peter's home on Park Charles Boulevard South Tuesday morning.
That's an agent screaming, "Hands up," in Spanish. A witness who took
And that proves that the workers were not Chinese. The Chinese couple was exploiting these Hispanic workers. I don't know where they're from. Most likely Mexico. That's where most of the illegals are from. But that's why they were speaking in Spanish.
this video said agents arrested 20 people. No one answered at the door Thursday morning. Then an hour later, 5 on Your Side learned 56-year-old Gao Lingyi and Di Zhenyi were charged for bringing in and harboring immigrants living here undocumented. Defendant Gao Lingyi is also the manager of Golden Apple Buffet in St. Charles. One witness said a group of employees would come to work in a van.
So these are the vans I was talking about. A lot of construction people use these kind of vans, and also people who are harboring illegals apparently use them, and ICE uses them to transport the arrested and detained illegals. Okay, so it's hilarious that they were using an ICE van to transport these people to and fro from where they were harboring them inside this house. I just thought that was hilarious.
The buffet just had its grand opening in May, but it's now closed. The FBI confirms they were at the restaurant on Tuesday.
All the charges are about the employer having hired persons who are not legal to work in the United States, having knowingly done it, and in fact, provided them a place to live in and transportation to go back and forth.
This is Nalini Mahadevan, an immigration attorney for
Another way to say that is that a bunch of illegal invaders who are never supposed to be here, who were stealing American jobs, and then these Chinese owners were harboring them and literally providing them a way to steal jobs from Americans and work illegally here. That's another way to say it. An immigration attorney is never going to say the word illegal. Okay, never going to happen, even though that is the technical legal term for these people who broke into our country. But she's going to try to use a million different euphemisms to try to forgive these people and try to make it seem like they didn't do anything wrong. Okay, as you will see here.
For 23 years, she says all employees have rights.
The employees in the United States, they have certain rights, just like everybody else. It's called due process. They have those rights. So
the only right they have is to a speedy deportation hearing in front of an immigration judge so we can ship them the hell out of here. That's the only right they have, lady. Okay. Everybody who breaks in here apparently has the same rights as me, as if their ancestors built this country. They did not, and they do not have the same rights as citizens. And you can try to repeat this due process crap a million times. The only process they're due is a speedy immigration hearing before we drag them the hell out of here the same way they came in.
They should learn to exercise those rights.
Mahadevan doesn't know every detail in this case, but she
doesn't know anything. She just automatically defends the illegals who broke into our country. That's the move of every single criminal defense attorney and also these immigration lawyers. Okay, that's their clientele, the criminal clientele who broke in here. All they want is for the regular citizens to feel sorry for these disgusting people who have stolen opportunities away from Americans and invaded a country that they have no right to be in.
Can still picture the fear.
I feel for the persons who are picked up. A lot of them are victims of circumstances way beyond their control, and a lot of the people unfortunately believe those people who have brought them in and put them to work, and that's very sad.
Do you feel sad at all for the Americans who've lost jobs because of these illegals? No, those are not people that she's concerned with. Okay, they were dumb enough to believe this stuff. You thought it was okay to invade someone else's country and stay there and live there and work there as if you own the place? Okay, no, actually, I don't feel sorry for them. They should have never accepted any kind of deal to come here under the table. Okay, no matter how they got here, it's wrong. The people who made them a pathway to illegally come here, they're also wrong, and that's why they're being charged by the FBI, by the way, by the Justice Department. But nevertheless, everybody is being punished here as they should. Nobody here is an innocent victim. Okay, everybody here is a criminal, and that's why they've all been arrested and will be deported soon.
That's very sad.
Now, the potential penalty for this charge could be up to 10 years in prison, a fine of up to $250,000, or both. Right now, ICE and the FBI are investigating this case.
So, as you guys heard there at the end, the owners are facing significant fines and prison time. And federal judges have given significant prison time in cases like this, especially when more than 10 people were being harbored here, 20 plus people were being harbored here. And so the owners are looking at significant penalties and potential deportation depending on whether they're actual citizens or not. Okay, the couple was Chinese. If they've been here for a long time and have citizenship, they'll go to prison. If they are illegals themselves, which is not clear here, most likely they have some kind of legal residency. The people who have legal status are the ones who actually use these criminal methods to bring in illegals to work in their restaurants. This has happened before. Sometimes even American citizens will bring in illegals to work at their restaurant, as we talked about a couple of months ago, that Colt Grill in Arizona, I believe. Those owners were arrested. If you want to see that video, go check it out over here. They've also been charged with federal charges for literally bringing in Mexican illegals to work in their restaurant. So it's kind of similar here, where it's another restaurant. But nevertheless, the point is that these people did it, and if the FBI raided the homes and the restaurant, that means they have significant evidence based on judicial search warrants. Okay, if they went to a personal house, a residential house, and they went inside, they raided it, that means they had a judicial warrant. Okay, and that wasn't just ICE, that was FBI. So that means they went to a judge, showed a probable cause evidence, and got a search warrant. Okay, so these people are most likely looking at significant prison time after their case is over. And that's all I got to say for this video. More awesome news, more ICE raids makes my day every single time I see it. And that's all I got to say for this video. Make sure you're subscribed if you like videos like this, and like the video if you liked it. Leave a comment down below. And as always, stay safe out there, and I'll see you guys in my next video.